Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Nerf Fortnite DG. This blaster came out in 2019 and is part of the Nerf Fortnite line. The DG stands for drum gun, and this blaster is based on the in-game weapon, the drum gun. So with that out of the way, let's get started by talking about the box. Starting off at the front of the box, we have a little information. Up here we can see that this blaster includes 15 Nerf Elite darts. These are the Fortnite blue and purple darts. This blaster also has a 15 dart rotating drum. So this blaster is a revolver. This blaster also has some assembly required and is ages 8+. Flipping it to the other side, we have some of the same information as the front of the box, except, but the new information we have is this blaster is pump action. So I wonder if it has slam fire. So with that all the way, let's get this thing out of the box. Here we have the DG out of the box. We have our instructions telling you how to assemble and operate the blaster. And to assemble it, we take our 15 dart rotating drum. Simply just place this into the blaster. It doesn't appear to be able to come out. We also have our darts here. These are the Nerf Fortnite blue and purple darts. To load the DG, it's very simple, just like every other revolver. Just load darts into the cylinders. But it's a very open set of cylinders, so you can load more than one in at a time, unlike some revolvers. So it makes it a very quick and easy load. Rotating the drum does feel a little stiff. It's not that loose. So keep that in mind. All right, there we have the DG loaded up. Let's see how it fires. The prime is a little crunchy, but not terrible. Pull the trigger. Oh, okay. Now we're gonna see if it has slam fire. Oh, I mean, the instructions say it has slam fire, but let's see how well the slam fire is. Also, blaster seems to slam fire without me holding down the trigger sometimes. I think there's some like weird sweet spot when you prime it just right. Like if you don't pull it back all the way or something. It's really, really strange. I don't know what that's all about. It's not horrible. Yeah. So with that out of the way, let's get this thing on the range and see how it fares. Pardon the noise, the construction continues. But anyway, here we are down on the range. We have our DG loaded up with Nerf Elite. And by the way, that is your sight picture. Let's see if we can hit anything. Down. Ooh, got something. Yeah, we're out. Oh, no, we had a jam. We had a jam. I was not holding the trigger with that one. What the heck is going on? What the heck? By the way, jams are kind of hard to clear with this thing. What is happening? Not sure what's going on with this thing, but those darts were going all over the place. We hit a few targets, and I was trying to slam fire it, but it just kept jamming for some reason. Oh, somebody with the air seals. Also, this thing firing without me holding the trigger. Like I said, there's like a sweet spot in this thing that you can just You don't have to pull the trigger and it fires when you prime it. Anyway, on to the next dart. On to Adventure Force. See if we can hit anything. One down. Oh. What the heck? They keep getting stuck in the barrel, and then the next dart shoots them out. Because I'm wondering, like, why when I fired one dart didn't come out of the barrel? It's because it got stuck in the barrel, and the next dart shoots it out. And we keep jamming. This thing is jamming a lot for some reason. I don't know what's up with it. It's weird. Like, they're going straighter than Nerf, but this blaster just jams a lot. Anyway, on to the next dart. All right, on to dart zone. Hopefully this doesn't jam. Oh, promising, hit the target. Nothing came out of the barrel. What is going on? Now it's not even cycling the cylinder. Like, I was hitting the targets. Accuracy isn't its problem. It has some other issues with it. Let's move on to the range test. All right, here we are at the range test. And as usual, for context, the chicken marks 25 feet. The swan marks 35 feet. And the frog marks 40 feet. And the very back wall marks 50 feet from where I'm standing. We got the DG loaded up here. We're gonna be firing 5 of each dart, and conveniently, blaster has 15 slots. And we have 3 darts to test, so it's gonna be quite interesting. Hopefully it doesn't fire while priming. Starting off with Nerf Elite. Nope, didn't even pull the trigger. What the heck is going on here? They're just going all over the place. Moving on to Adventure Force. Fired without me pulling the trigger back. Oh! Fired a dart zone. So that means we're on the dart zone now. Well, I'm on 40. All right, let's go check out those ranges. All right, here we are. We have the tape measure out, and we have some interesting results here. After going over the footage, I have come to the conclusion that Nerf was going the shortest. Now, of course, that's probably due in part to the darts hitting the wall and going all over the place, rather than going straight. But still, they were landing right around the 35-foot mark, or maybe a little bit before. Some were going a little bit farther than it, but most of them were going right around here. But Adventure Force and Dart Zone, on the other hand, surprisingly, were going farther than Nerf. The Dart Zone consistently going beyond the 40-foot mark. Very interesting results. I'm going to put the ranges up here on screen now. And of course, I'll probably be doing corrections in post because I was very distracted with the blaster firing without me pulling the trigger. Anyway, with that all the way, let's move on to the speed test. All right, here we are at the speed test. We're going to be starting off with Nerf Elite. We're going to be firing 5 shots of each dart. All right, see how this thing fares. 81. 59. 57. 63. 71. And that's it. Next, we have Adventure Force. 44. 58. 59. 67 and 17. I think that hit the chronograph. Lastly, we have dart zone. 63. 56. 77. 68. 67. And that's it. All right. Pretty standard results. I'll put the results up on screen now. Not much different than other results we've gotten yet. I still just can't get over the fact that this thing has a knack of firing without you holding down the trigger. It's a little weird. All right, with that all the way, let's move on to my final thoughts. So what are my final thoughts on the Nerf Fortnite DG? Before we do that, as usual, we need to go over where I bought it and how much I spent. I purchased this blaster at Walmart for $29.97 USD. Something else to mention about the DG is that this blaster is relatively hard to find in stores just because of how old this blaster is. This blaster, of course, coming out in 2019, and stores like to clear their shelves of older products to make room for new ones. Of course, if you go the online route, this blaster is pretty easy to buy on places like Target's website, Walmart's website, or Amazon. That's just something to keep in mind. I just happen to live near a Walmart that occasionally will sell older products, probably just to clear out their inventory. That's how I got mine. Maybe it may differ depending where you live. Maybe these are still at Target. Who knows? No other neutral thoughts about this blaster, so let's move on to pros and cons. All right, on to cons, starting off with the cylinder. The first con about the drum I have is when rotating it, it's very stiff. Now I understand with larger drums, you need to have a stiffer retainer. That way it prevents the drum from skipping to the next cylinder or going back. That's why it's like this. But it kind of feels like you're not supposed to do this, and it kind of feels like you're breaking it. But the instructions do tell you you can do that. It's not that big of a deal, especially because most of your cylinders are exposed when to load it. You just have to move it over like this much to get the rest. It's not that big of a deal. It just feels weird. The next con about the drum is how it affects reliability. This blaster definitely has an issue with that. Each of these cylinders doesn't seem to be the same diameter. Some will hold the dart perfectly fine, others will hold them very loose, which causes the dart to just kind of either not fire at all or get stuck in the barrel. And one of the issues I've been seeing is definitely because of how long this barrel is, but the darts will go inside the barrel, and when you rotate it to the next round, they go back in, and if you fire this dart now, the dart in the barrel will fly out, but there's not enough power for the second dart, the one that's in the cylinder, to go out too, so it just gets stuck in the barrel, causing a jam. And I had a lot of those during the accuracy test. Not too much afterward, but definitely for the accuracy test, I had a lot of those jams. And lastly, the biggest issue with the DG is definitely the firing without pulling the trigger. This blaster has a knack for slam firing without holding down the trigger. I don't know why it's like that. I have no idea, like, if it's broken. Is it just mine? Is it everybody else's? It's just really weird. Like, there are times where, yeah, you can get it where you have to pull the trigger, but a lot of the times, it's not even an infrequent issue. It's a constant issue with this blaster. And it's more of an annoyance than anything else, but it is still a problem. It's not functioning as it's meant to. So that is definitely something to keep in mind if you are considering purchasing this blaster. All right, on to pros. Starting off with its overall aesthetics. I really like the aesthetics of this blaster. It's a cartoonish take on the classic Thompson submachine gun, also known as the Tommy gun, that classic gangster weapon. And just for that, I think it looks pretty neat. Also has some pretty nice wood texturing on the grips and stock. Ergonomically, this blaster is surprisingly comfortable to shoot, and the prime is quite smooth, and the trigger pull, when it actually catches, it's also pretty nice. Also, something that's really nice is the fact that your arm never hits the drum when using the blaster, which is good. A lot of blasters with larger drums like this, use your arm will brush up against it, either preventing it from rotating, or your arm just scrapes against it and you kind of hurt yourself. So there is that. But this blaster does not have any of those issues. Also, 15 round capacity is also nice, pretty neat. But would I recommend the DG? As a blaster, no. From the trigger not catching to the darts getting stuck in the barrel and overall reliability issues, definitely it's not a great blaster. And I also don't think it's worth the hassle of tracking one down in stores or buying it online. If you're buying this as a collectible or a prop and don't mind finding one, then sure. It is a very cool looking blaster, very comfortable to hold and everything. So it would be a great use as a prop, just not as a blaster. And I do understand that quality varies in blasters, so the issues present in my DG may not be in yours. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, that'll be the end of the review. Comment your thoughts about this blaster down below. Comment what else you want to see on the channel. Be sure to check out my Dart Zone Max Tomcat review I did a while back. Also be sure to check out my other reviews on the channel. Both of those linked at the end of the video. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.